In this exercise, we're going to take a look at how to create subassemblies and how to insert them into the main assembly using this model. As you can see, this scissor jack was created using both parts and subassemblies. Notice in the Feature Manager design tree that the same arm length subassembly was used twice and the screw subassembly once. And if I move the assembly, you can see the jack moves as expected. The arms are free to move up and down, and the screw and top bracket remain horizontal. To create this model, I'll start by creating the arm length subassembly first. Recall that a subassembly is simply an assembly that you insert into an existing assembly, so I'll start a new assembly file. Before I insert a part, let me pin the Property Manager. The arm length subassembly contains 3 part files: the upper arm, lower arm, and pin. I'll browse for the 3 items and click Open. The first component I'll place is the pin. I'll select it, and notice the part orientation doesn't match the assembly orientation I want. I'll rotate it once in the Y direction by right-clicking in the graphics area and selecting Rotate Y 90 degrees, and once in the Z direction by selecting Rotate Z 90 degrees. And click the green check to place it on the assembly origin. Next, I'll add 1 instance of the upper arm link and 1 instance of the lower arm link. First, I'll mate the lower arm component. I'll add a concentric mate between one of the faces on this end of the arm and the pin. I'll Control-select the faces, and from the Context toolbar, I'll click Concentric. Next, I'll add a coincident mate between the outer face of the arm and this inner face of the pin. I'll drag the arm, and you can see it's only free to rotate about the pin. This is the motion I'm looking for, so I'll mate the upper arm component next. Before I add the first mate, let me rotate the upper arm component to get the right orientation. I'll use the right mouse button to get it to the position I want. The upper arm looks good, so I'll add the mates. First, I'll add a concentric mate between this end of the upper arm and the pin, just as before. Next, I'll add a coincident mate between the outer face of the upper arm and the inner face of the lower arm. If I drag the upper arm, you can see it's free to rotate about the pin. With the subassembly complete, I'll go ahead and save it. I'll make sure to browse to the correct folder, and I'll name it Arm-Link Subassembly. And click Save. For the main assembly, I'll be using 2 instances of this model, so I'll move on to create the screw subassembly. I'll start a new assembly file, pin the Property Manager, and browse for the part files. I'll select both the screw and pin-handle. First, I'll select the screw and click the green check to place it on the origin. Next, I'll place the pin and click the green check to exit. First, I'll position the pin within the hole in the screw. I'll select the 2 circular faces. And from the Context menu, I'll click Concentric. Next, to center the pin and screw, I'll add coincident mates between their planes. In the feature tree, I'll expand each of the component folders, and I'll select the screw front plane and the pin front plane. I'll add a coincident mate. And the subassembly is complete. I'll save this assembly in the same folder that I saved the previous assembly. I'll give it the name Screw Subassembly. And click Save. With the subassemblies complete, I'm ready to create the scissor jack assembly.